All right, we'd like to call the joint meeting to order. On behalf of the Lafayette Parish Council, I'll call this joint meeting to order. This is a special joint meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council and Lafayette City Council. At times during the meeting, I will defer to the acting City Council Chair to preside over the City Council matters. Past City Parish Vice Chair Pat Lewis will serve as acting City Council Chair for the purpose of the joint meeting. Announce. On behalf of the Lafayette City Council, I'll call this joint meeting to order and need to announce that item 2, JR-001.
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
You need to hand the gavel over to the City Council Acting Chair so he can open up the meeting. You see the green?
That's why, okay. Hold on.
On behalf of the Lafayette City Council, I call this joint meeting to order.
Okay, now I will go ahead and announce item 2, JR-001-2020, meetings, rules, and procedures, request by City Council member Liz Hebert to amend. Legal will explain the amendments.
Yes, and since then, she's decided that we will look at the amendments and she will let the resolution go as is. So no amendments will be done tonight. She wanted to give us more time to look at the resolution.
Okay, thank you, Liz. I got you. All right, resolutions, Parish Council and City Council. Cindy, can you please read? I got you.
Joint Resolution 1, 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council establishing rules and order of business for the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council.
Okay, at this time, Parish Council only. I need a motion and a second. So moved, Mr. Chair. Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo and a second by Councilman Tabor. Any Parish Council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any public comment? No, sir. Okay. Please call the vote for the Parish Council to adopt this resolution.
This will be, I'm sorry about my voice, but this will be only by a voice vote. It will not be electronic vote during this meeting.
Okay.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, at this time, I will turn it over to Councilman Lewis so he can.
Okay, council members, for the city, this is only city members. I need a motion and a second, please. Okay, motion by Ms. Hebert Webb and then second by Mr. Nakin. Okay, Andy
Make sure
Nakin.
you clear.
Andy Nakin, city councilman, Andy Nakin. City council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comments, please?
No, sir.
Then let's call for the vote, please.
District 1?
City Council.
Yes.
District 2? City District 2? District 3? Yes. District 4? Yes. District 5?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 2, 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council appointing the clerk of the council.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion and a second by the Parish Council. So moved by AB, Councilman AB, and second by Councilman Carlson. Not seeing any discussion, any public comment?
No, sir.
All right, please call the roll from the Parish Council.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, at this time, I'll turn it over to Councilman Lewis for the city.
Okay, city council members, I need a motion and a second, please. Motion by Ms. Cook, second by Ms. Hebert. Any council discussion? Public comments?
No, sir.
Let's call for the vote from the city council to adopt the resolution.
District 2? Yes. District 3? Yes. District 4? Yes. District 5? Yes. District 1?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Mr. Chair, Just like to say thank you guys for appointing me as clerk of the first city and parish council under this Lafayette Consolidated Government, and I look forward to working with you all.
You're quite welcome.
Man,
Didn't have much of a choice, I'm joking. He did a great job, V. All right, moving right along. Introductory ordinances, parish council and city council. Just to remind all that item 5 has been deferred indefinitely regarding the introductory ordinances because administration has a presentation on item 4, the Public Works reorganization. These ordinances will be read individually. Cindy, can you please read first ordinance?
Joint Ordinance 1, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council approving an administrative reorganization of a department of Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government by reorganizing the Department of Public Works, creating the Department of Drainage, creating the Department of Traffic, Roads, and Bridges, and amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government to effectuate the administrative reorganization approved herein.
Okay, need a motion and a second from the parish council? So moved, Mr. Chair. Second. Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo, a second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Councilman Lewis?
thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question for the administration. What making this decision? Why are you, you want to reorganize the department like that?
Oh, I got you. Hold on a second. Go ahead. Did you,
We found out the hard way.
okay.
Thank you, Councilman. At this time, I would like to call up our interim Director of Public Works, Mr. Chad Neva. To one of the mics. Thank you. And Mr. Neva will assist in any questions that the council has. But I will, to answer your question, Councilman, we're elevating the important functions of drainage, traffic, roads, and bridges to a department level. This is to increase accountability to the administration, the councils, and to our people. We are narrowing the focus on the remaining divisions of Public Works, essentially to increase efficiency. And any questions that the council has, or both councils have, we'd love to address those.
Okay.
We will give a more elaborate presentation on final passage, but we are available for any questions that you have.
Okay. I do have one. I did get a constituent that called, and one of the concerns they brought up was that the Drainage Department helps assist Streets Department in putting out the barricades and the cleanups for Mardi Gras. And not only that, there's calls after hours. How is that going to be affected? Because most personnel sometimes are on call every 20 weeks. If that changes, that person might be on call every 6 to 8 weeks. And I also know from when we make a request of service, when a culvert needs to be blown out, a lot of times the other department has, I mean, with the departments being split up, is when drainage gets a call that they need to blow out a culvert, but streets might have the equipment. I mean, are we going to see any interruption with that, or is it going to be any different? Because under the current format, you make a request of service, and because it's all under one umbrella, the equipment to cut trees down is available, blow out culverts. So, I mean, is that going to be affected, or do you see it still being, hey, this is drainage, I'm calling, I need to go borrow this piece of equipment, we come and get it? Or, I mean, if you can elaborate, I guess, to kind of help us explain how an event like that would work.
Certainly. I'll start off with saying that no services, with this reorganization, no services will be disrupted. I will defer to Mr. Neva to elaborate a little more detail on the operational component of that question.
Just state your name for the official record.
Yeah, my name is Chad Naveau, and of course I've been in public works for 28 years, and recently, I've been asked to take part in our reorganization as interim director, and I'm happy to do so. Now, to answer your question on the barricades, and we work together, streets crews, drainage crews, to get those out, and that's not going to change. So I don't see any disruption for Mardi Gras. The on-call list will be maintained to provide the services after hours as they typically do and have. Let's see, what the other question was related to the, was it the getting the service request?
Yeah, service request, if streets is on some project and then drainage might need to borrow a piece of equipment to go trim tree cutting some, over power lines or.
Yeah, I mean, we've always worked well between divisions. I don't see any reason why we're not going to continue to work well within departments. We'll be helpful where we have to.
I guess the fear of splitting up the departments, then the fear is, does drainage got to go get permission from streets to utilize something they need to get their job done? Or is it open door policy, hey, I'm just letting you know, I'm coming to get the equipment because I need to finish the job?
Well, it's not an open door policy now. I mean, those authorizations to use equipment that's assigned to other divisions or departments, that's still an ongoing, practice is to get permission to use equipment that's not assigned to that division or that department. So that lines of communications will remain intact, yeah.
Okay. I mean, like I said, it was just a question I wanted to bring out because it was a concern from a constituent of mine. Councilman Cook, you have the floor.
Thank you. I just had a couple of questions. I just need to understand a little bit better in terms of, and you and I have already spoken about this a little bit, but I want you to kind of explain to me again the funding of these positions. And I understand we're reducing the overall salary of the Public Works Director as he is now. We're spreading it out among the other three, actually. And some of that funding is coming from some vacant positions. And so I'm just curious about those positions. I understand two of them were newly added that have not been filled, but what are the other two positions?
For that to Josh, I wasn't involved in them.
Okay.
Right, and Mr. Naveau is if you have questions as far as operational, he would be the subject matter expert. In finances, we have Lori. But I will say that not only did we lower the public, in this reorganization, not only are we lowering the Public Works Director's salary, we also eliminated 4 redundant but also vacant positions. So this is how we justify the spending. And really and we're anticipating the current Associate Director of Public Works to retire within the next 4 to 5 months. After she retires, we'll eliminate this position, but our actual net savings, minimum savings, is $67,538. That's minimum. So we're constantly going to strive to have efficiency both on the operational component of this, but also financially. But Ms. Toops can elaborate.
So two positions were inspectors in EQ,
Right.
and the other 2 positions, they're not providing services to the citizens. They were working in vehicle maintenance, and we had 15 mechanic positions. Now we'll have 13. They were vacant for a little while.
Okay, well, that was going to be my question. How long, and then were they not providing services in the field? So,
Right, no,
okay.
they weren't out in the field. Mr. Guillory made it clear he didn't want to affect services to the public.
So those are the only 4 vacant positions that were looked at this
No,
point?
I think they have some more vacant I'm sorry, they have more vacant positions, but we were tasked with deleting positions that didn't affect services to the public, and some of those do, they work out in the field.
Right, that was my question. So only those 4 were the ones that we looked at that you thought we could cut without, disrupting any services?
At this time, there may be
Okay.
more reorganization as they streamline things and get things more under control. We may come back to you with more housekeeping later if it's found that there's more redundant positions. So, don't be surprised if we do come back with that, but it's not planned right now.
That's fine. No, I like the focus. I like the change in the focus, and I think it's a good idea. I just was concerned that we were going to be cutting some positions that, the problem is some of the work is not getting, that we're so backlogged. And so I did not want to cut any services that would needed to be provided to take care of those kind of things. So that makes me feel better. So that's all I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilman Nakam, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, the efficiency that you're creating with making these new department heads obviously is to focus on major problems we have. And the whole point is to be able to focus on those problems. Am I correct in saying that? Rather than taking a shotgun and just shooting and hoping we hit something, we can now focus on drainage problems. We can now focus on road problems. We can focus on bridge problems. Is that correct, Mr. Nephew?
That is correct.
Okay. And there will be basically no net effect on our budget. It's just moving money from one place to another but keeping it all equal, correct? Okay. We have right now so many employees within Public Works. You're creating a Department of Roads and Bridges and creating a Department of Drainage. Are they going to have service employees that are going to be dedicated to those departments? Where that's all they're going to do every day is drainage?
Yeah, those are existing employees who are assigned to those divisions where they're doing those services now.
So
Like
they'll
this-
be out
this-
every day doing nothing but drainage work, maintenance work, whatever needs to be done, it'll be addressed. So
Absolutely,
it sounds like we're creating some efficiency,
absolutely.
okay, with no more money out of the budget.
That is correct.
That sounds like a winner to me. Thank you very
Good
much.
deal.
Okay. Councilman Abear, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. So I know we're going to have the 3 separate directors, and I know we talked a little bit more on the lower end, Mr. Knockham and Kevin Knockham. I'm pointing in the right direction, saying the wrong name.
Sorry, I said the wrong district earlier.
We're all new. But these directors are essentially going to be the ones making the decisions for their departments, correct? But I know sometimes there's a little bit of overlap within these within these departments, right? So do you have a concern? I know we don't have a crystal ball and we can't predict the future. I guess has it been thought out of when, say, this one department is making a big decision for their department, but it may affect another and they don't get to say so over it? Have y'all discussed how that may work out?
Well, I would say that, I haven't had a lot of opportunity, really. This is so brand new and,
Sure.
conceptually,
I can
so we
elaborate.
haven't really had time
I can
to,
elaborate.
I haven't had time to really study the details on how this may play out. But, I mean, there's a lot of synergy between the way drainage and, street projects and maintenance, how
Right.
they work together. So I would say that, we can anticipate having those discussions, see where each relative division,
Right.
gets the input and is able to continue to do their jobs.
Yeah, and you and I can have a sidebar conversation over that, about a couple of situations that kind of came up, but just, I'm going to move forward. And then looking at the pay scale that we kind of projected, can you maybe explain, I think this may be a question for you, sort of Lori, not sure who, is the difference in salary is drainage is going to make right over 79,000, roads, traffic, and bridges will make right over 150,000, and then public works is going to make, and public works will make 127,000. Can you explain the discrepancies and why?
You are not looking at the right column.
Okay.
So what happened is we had 3 months in this fiscal year of the former Public Works Director at his current
Okay.
salary, and so now we're going to have a new Public Works Director at a different salary. If you look over, maybe to the end of that spreadsheet, let me open mine and pull it up.
It's got a lot of sheets open. Let's see.
I'll tell you the new salaries, and you should see that on the spreadsheet. On the spreadsheets, for all of your information, whenever we have a change like this mid-year, we show you the annual amounts on that spreadsheet. Look there's a subtitle at the top, and it says a full year or 12 months worth.
Okay.
And then we'll show you for the remaining pay periods of the current year. And so those numbers will be 2 different numbers because the remaining amount for the current year will be less than, in most cases, than the amount for the full year. But the budget, the salaries for the new positions on an annual basis, the Public Works Director will be 125, Drainage 108, and Traffic, Roads, and Bridges 120.
Okay. And how did we base that? We based that on the staffing underneath? Okay.
I believe that's what they did, yes.
Yes.
You're already reading each other's minds.
Watch
Look at you. That is all I have for right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilman Ruman from the parish, you have the floor, sir.
Question. These positions that we're creating, are we going to go from inside, like the supervisors right now? Will they have first options for it, or will we be going outside of the company to get people to work for these positions?
Ideally, we would like this, the division leaders to apply, but this is these, in full candor, these are unclassified positions, so it would be up to the individual to apply. They might choose to stay in a classified position so they can have their civil service protection, or they may choose to apply. But I have confidence in the current division leaders, and I think our people would benefit from their service as a director, but it's ultimately their decision at this time.
Okay.
Okay, is that it? Okay. Councilman Lewis from the city.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, you had just made a comment. I want to make sure I'm clear on that, that what Mr. Rubin was asking, you are saying that if you hire from within, they lose their civil service protection because they become directors, so that's be a chance they would have to take, if I'm understanding correctly.
That is correct.
That is correct.
And that's why I said it's ultimately their decision to apply or not to apply. But we've been very honest and transparent about that, and I don't think they need me to remind them of that, because it's a pretty important decision.
Okay. And I have a question for Ms. Toops. You mentioned that earlier you were saying that some of these positions will be from, how did you really say that, positions that we had 2 inspectors from the environmental department. But I thought, I was under the impression that a few months ago we had approved to hire 2 more inspectors. So is that in any equation, or that's something totally different from what you are saying?
Oh. Go ahead, you good.
Those 2 new positions are the positions, we never did fill them. Those are the positions that we are eliminating.
So if we are eliminating from there, where is the efficient? From what Mr. Chad is talking about, it's going to be efficient, but if we taken from one department and where these 2 inspectors are going, perhaps in drainage, so what's going to happen to the environmental department? We still going to be too short?
No, the environmental department was satisfied that they had enough inspectors. These were 2 new ones that we put in the budget that they said that they can continue operating with existing staff and existing positions. They did not ask for those 2 positions.
Well,
They did not request it.
And Councilman, is the opinion of the administration strongly that we can still satisfy the mission and still get the job done, even with eliminating these redundant positions that were added to the budget but never filled? These positions were never filled.
Okay, that's no problem. I like the idea what's going on, but then just like Ms. Toops talking about, perhaps we may have to come back for some house cleaning.
Sure.
So we may have to come back for some house cleaning for environmental, for the tall grass, for all these other things that we as councilmen, some of us has been dealing with for quite some time. And I thought we was getting to a point where we was going to hire more inspectors in the environmental department to handle the tall grass. During the summertime around April and March, some of these areas have problems. In fact, the district that I represent has a lot of problems with tall grass and blighted property. So we may have to do some housekeeping. I just want you guys to make sure that I will probably bring it back if it doesn't work the way you guys asked to work. Okay?
And I want to stress the importance that I place on working with the council, both councils, especially in that issue. Tall grass is a high priority of mine as well. I feel confident that we can still satisfy the job especially with this separation. There will be a higher focus, with the leadership. Like Mr. Andy and I can't mention, focus. Be able to have every single day drainage, for example. They're waking up. That's their mission. That's the director's mission. Traffic, roads, and bridges, and other aspects of the current public works department. I have no doubt in my mind that we will be able to fulfill that mission, even with the cuts.
I'm with you. Okay.
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Lewis. Councilman Gilbo from the parish, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm with you. I think this is a good focus, and just so I am certain that I'm on the same page, and I'll just make some statements. We are talking about a competitive process for those who want to apply for those positions, be it from the classified to the unclassified system, or even to the point where we go out and do a search. That's what I'm taking from this. This plan is cost neutral. We're not adding to the budget. Actually, we're reducing the budget. The services will be more focused down to the lowest level. That is where the citizens are, where the need is. We're going to continue to evaluate the whole process to look at efficiencies where there could be some savings, but never at the expense in the delivery of the services, down to the lowest level. As I appreciate it, the primary objective of this plan, Mr. Mayor President, is to provide for efficiencies throughout so all can benefit at the lowest level and not focus on the top end sometimes, and that's where we have a tendency to take care of the top end. I appreciate that we're more concerned down at the lower end where the services are going to be delivered. If that's the case, I'm all in.
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, thank you so much. Councilman Lazard?
Mr. Mayor, you said that current directors are eligible to apply. Are we looking for individuals with a particular skill set or qualifications for these directors' positions?
Sure. The number one skill set is leadership and focus and kind of that entrepreneurial mindset that we can do more with less. But again, I have confidence in the division leaders that are currently exercising these functions, but it would be up to them to apply or not to apply, because they may choose to stay in that current role.
So it's going to be an open process?
Sir? Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
And Councilman, just to again, in full candor, we anticipate naming an interim so that we can allow more access to those who would be interested in applying for the full-time director. So it'd be more competitive, as Mr. Gilbo suggested, but also to your concern that we're getting the best and brightest there.
So you can appoint interim directors for all three positions? You already have an interim director of
Correct.
Public Works, now I'm going to put an interim director for the other two positions as well?
We're anticipating, because we can't interview for a job doesn't exist right now. So with your blessing, we'll be able to start that process in 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay. Councilman Gilbo, you have the floor.
Mr. Mayor President,
Yes, sir.
more with less. We must maintain the efficiency level. We cannot lose sight of that quality.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Councilman.
Okay. All right. Not seeing any more discussion at this time. I'll go ahead. Any public comment?
No, sir?
Okay, so right now we're going to call the vote from the parish to introduce the ordinance. Parish only.
District 3? Yes. District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
The motion to introduce the ordinance is approved.
Okay, at this time, I'll turn it over to Councilman.
Okay, city members, please, I need a motion and a second to move. Motion by Mr. Andy Nakane and second by Ms. Lynette Cook. Any council discussion? Public comments?
No, sir?
Let's have a vote for this, from the city to introduce the ordinance.
District 3? District 4? District 5? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? The motion to introduce the ordinance is approved.
Okay, and just to be clear, the parish council already had a motion at the time that we voted by Councilman Gilbo and a second by Tabor. So just a reminder, the parish did do it correctly. Please read the next one.
Joint Ordinance 3, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget to provide for adjustments to existing line items within the council office.
Okay, at this time, I need a motion and a second from the parish council. A motion. Motion by Councilman Tabor. A second by Councilman A.B. Rubin. Any council discussion from the parish? Seeing none, any public comment?
No, sir?
Okay. Do you want me to call the vote on the
Yes,
parish? Okay, please call the vote on the parish.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3? Yes. The motion to introduce is approved.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to Councilman Lewis for the city.
Okay, I need a motion and second from the city, please. Motion from Mr. Andy Nakane and second from Ms. Liz Bear. Council discussion. Any public comments?
No, sir?
Okay, I need a vote from the city, please.
District 4? District 5? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3?
District 3? Yes. The motion to introduce is approved.
Okay. Any public comment concerning the above introductory ordinance?
No, sir.
Okay. I will make a motion to adjourn the parish meeting.
Can I have a motion to adjourn the city council meeting right now?
The joint meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
The city
joint-
council
the-
meeting will begin in 15 minutes.
Right. In
15.
15 minutes, the Lafayette City Council meeting will join up. Thank you so much. Parish Council meeting is over and the joint meeting is over. Thank you, and best of luck, city.